I have created the greatest hockey player of all time, but the problem is he's a 0 overall. Ben Dover is going to be the worst player in NHL history. A 36 overall on the top line of the Blackhawks alongside Connor Bedard and Teuvo Teravainen. This guy's not going to be very good, but the good news is he's got a lot of potential. Franchise high, 36 overall. Hopefully we can get him to a 99. I mean, the Blackhawks, they're not really working with a lot. I'm going to be honest. Offensively, they're horrible. Defensively, they're probably even worse. And in goal, they get a young guy in Spencer Knight who's an 82 overall who could definitely grow. I'm just praying the CPU isn't brain dead and they can actually build a competent team surrounding Connor Bedard and one Ben Dover. Honestly, with the way that we started the year, I'm shocked that we won 30 games in the regular season, 44 regulation losses, 8 in overtime for 68 points. We were not even in the basement of the NHL, third worst team in the league. San Jose and the Flames, man, Calgary, 58 points and only 24 wins. Connor Bedard is going to lead the way, 39 goals, 72 points, and a minus 34. We got to go down the list here. Where is Ben Dover? He was on the top line and he barely even produced. I know he's a 36 overall. Okay, 10 goals. We can work with that. He had 4 apples, 14 points. And yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. That man was a minus 37 on the season. The dude had 173 penalty minutes. Go, Ben. Spencer Knight, he's only 24 years of age, posted a solid stat line, 909 save percentage, had 3 shutouts. Nikita Kucherov led the NHL in scoring, and for the most goals, it would go to Brayden Point with 53. Dallas is going to steamroll Toronto in the Cup Finals in 5 games finally. Jamie Benn gets his Stanley Cup. Kucherov will win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. We got Brayden Point winning the Maurice Richard, Cale Makar the Norris, Conn Smythe to Rico Rantanen, Sergei Bobrovsky the Vezina, and Anze Kopitar the Selke. Chicago selecting 4th overall in this draft. We could go ahead, take Ding Man, elite medium potential sniper. Could go with Roger McQueen, who's a power forward. Chad, I don't even know who I want to go with. A's across the board for this guy. Bobby Hall, similar style, and he's NHL ready. Or do we go with the big man and Roger Lightning McQueen, power forward? He's got a lot of A's. He's NHL ready and a similar style to Milan Lucic. We could go with the guy who's labeled a gem. Also, there's so many options in this draft. 4th overall. I don't even know who I want to go after. Roger McQueen is going to be my first pick, and I'm going to try to get that gem considering he's listed 8th overall. Give up a first and a first from this season. They're totally unwilling to give up their 7th overall pick. Columbus boys, you got to work with me here. Throw in a second. Still totally unwilling. I mean, the value is pretty high. We might honestly have to throw in another first rounder from 2030. Bang it into the deal, and it is an absolute no-brainer for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And with the 7th overall pick, an elite medium sniper from God knows what country, 82 overall in year number 1. I swear to God, this was not my doing. The computer picked up Carter Hart midway through the season at some point, 85 overall, 26 years of age. We're in the re-sign phase. Do we re-sign him now? Slowly but surely, Ben is getting better at the sport of hockey. He's a 59 overall, still on the top line with Connor Bedard and Nicolas Shin, 82 overall sniper. We got 3 snipers on that top line, considering Bedsy's one as well. But again, this team's going to be very bad, so I'm just going to play my young players on the top lines. We got Korchinski and Lev Shunov, who I do want to throw up here. And then between the pipes, Carter Hart and Spencer Knight is our goaltending tandem. Definitely no controversy to be had here whatsoever. It is also time to set a season goal for Mr. Ben long term. We're going to go with a stat-based challenge. And you know what? He scored 10 goals last season. Score 15 this year, Ben, and improve off of your career high. Pretty similar season to last year. Chicago was 34, 41, and 7, 75 points on the year. Not a playoff team, not even remotely close, as we were 29th in the entire league. Ben Dover Red Rover was absolutely nowhere to be found yet again. I mean, he's still only like a 60 overall. He did not eclipse 15 goals. He had 14 on the season, but 32 points is a massive improvement, and the man was only a -4. Also, yes, 229 penalty minutes is the best on the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's not even close. Connor Bedard was pretty solid. We got Nicolas Shin, who had 21 goals, 54 points. I mean, this team is so far from contending right now, it's not even laughable. William Nylander will go off in the season, 130 points, lead the way in that category, and Kirill Kaprizov had the most goals at 61. Tampa Bay adds to their Stanley Cup total in the 2020s, number 3 of the decade, as they dominate the reigning defending champs in the Dallas Stars. Nylander wins the Lindsay, Art Ross Hart Trophy, Kaprizov the Maurice Richard, Morgan Riley, the top 5 defenseman himself, wins the Norris. Nikita Kucherov, the Conn Smythe, Sergei Bobrovsky, the Vezina, and for the Selke, Dylan Strome of the Washington Capitals. You do not see that every day. Here we are at the draft again. I mean, DS is available for me. Franchise high. He's got a wicked personality. He's very hard to have contract negotiations with. We could go with Roberick, T.J. Ginler, or no, T.J. Ginler's brother and Joe is there. Could go with Donald. I mean, DS is probably by far and away the best player. Even if we use him as like trade bait, I think we draft him and maybe we move him for some certain piece that the Chicago Blackhawks desperately need. I said it on draft night, DS. I'm not dealing with you again, brother. We got him a first, second, and a third for Howard, Clark, and Quinton Byfield. Don't even ask me how Isaac Howard is a member of the LA Kings, but nonetheless, considered a done deal. And we just got an absolute haul in return for Daniel Sibiu. This is definitely not going to be a contract that I regret. $19.4 million, 2 years, full no movement clause in there for Kyle Connor. This team's pretty filthy. Connor, Bedard, and Dover on that top line. We get a +5 in the chemistry. Joe Veleno with Quinton Byfield and Nikola Shin. We got Lucas Reichel, Lightning Roger McQueen, and Isaac Howard, and then Tara Vinen, Donato, and Bertuzzi. Defensively, it doesn't look as good, but I mean, we got Kevin Korchinski at an 87 and Brant Clark at an 88. And although we lost Spencer Knight in the offseason, Carter Hart is still our starting goaltender. Again, no controversy to be found.
Stop the cap.
I think it's time. Ben Dover has been an NHL caliber player for 3 seasons, so he's going to be named the next captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. Sorry, Bedsy, you just didn't have what it takes, brother. You never had the makings of a varsity athlete. By year number 3, the Blackhawks are in the postseason. 41 wins, 32 losses, 9 in overtime for 91 points. Of course, not going to be at the top of the NHL, but we are a playoff team, which is growth, and I think we were the worst playoff team to make the playoffs, or maybe second worst. Bedsy definitely growing into his own. 53 goals, 103 points. Ben Dover, there it is. 12 goals, 40 points. He was a +21, 315 penalty minutes. My God, this guy is just being a bigger goon every single season. Nikola Shin didn't really improve. Honestly, he got a little bit worse. Kyle Connor was solid. Byfield was okay. And between the pipes, Carter Hart, he gave us 6 shutouts and a .919 save percentage. Nikita Kucherov doing his thing yet again on the goal side. Kirill Kaprizov, I feel like I've seen this story a few times before. Good news is we made the playoffs. The bad news is we got to play the Edmonton Oilers in round number 1. I mean, we're putting up a fight right now. We did not fall down 3-0 in the series. We're in game number 4. Can we tie it up? Do I need a new set of glasses, or am I reading that incorrectly? Did we just sweep the Edmonton Oilers in the first round of the playoffs? Am I mad? Very confusing series as we move on to play the Calgary Flames in the second round. Okay, that's more like it. Down 3-0 to the Calgary Flames. So we dominated the Oilers, but the Flames, I mean, we can't contain Calgary. 1-0 lead after 1, 3-1 after 2, and we will live to fight another day. Thank you, Connor Bedard, you beautiful bastard. Kevin Korchinski was solid, as well as Nikola Shin. Game 6 on the road, season on the line, and the Chicago Blackhawks again. Backs against the wall. This team has some heart, and they have no quit in them. Take it one game at a time. We win this game, and we force a game 7. First period, 1-0 lead. Connor Bedard. Second period, 2-0 lead. And we will have a game 7 back in Calgary. Game 7 all comes down to this. We actually fall down by 1 after the first, which conveniently enough probably means our impending doom. Second period, we are down by a pair, and the Chicago Blackhawks hold up a minute. Quinton Byfield makes it a 1-goal game. All we need is 1 goal. 27 shots. We're on the power play. Can our power play strike? No, it cannot. Halfway through the third, down by 1 on the road in a game 7 to go to the conference final. Sarangovic and then Nikola Shin. Here we go. Final stages of the third period. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. And the Chicago Blackhawks, do we have 1 goal left in us to tie this game up? Let's see what Chicago can do. Nice save there by Carter Hart. It is crunch time now. 90 seconds to go. Can the Blackhawks tie it up? Shots are 34-32, so we have been shooting. Although we are in our own zone right now. No! What the hell just happened, man? Nazem Kadri tips it in. And there goes our comeback. It is gone, flushed down the toilet, and down the drain it goes. What an incredible tip. Pause. Bedard was basically our best player in the postseason. 5 goals, 12 points, although he's a -2. Ben Dover, you are nowhere to be found, brother. Am I reading this incorrectly, or did Ben Dover not play come playoff time? What is going on? At the end of the season, Ben always gets sent down, so that's why he was not there. He had 3 goals, 4 points, -5 in 11 games, 57 penalty minutes in 11 games in the postseason. That's crazy. Dallas Stars win their second Stanley Cup of the video as they dethrone and beat the Florida Panthers in Game 7. Cooch is solid yet again. Art Ross and Hart Trophy. Kirill Kaprizov doing his thing. Makar is going to win the Norris. Wyatt Johnston in the Conn Smythe. Anthony Stolar is my man, the Vezina. And for the Selke, Sid the Kid Crosby. Pretty much going to run back the same exact roster. I'm a little bit concerned about Ben Dover. He's 21 years of age. Only a 69 overall. Conveniently enough, that is his jersey number. I'm starting to wonder and starting to think he's not going to reach his full potential, even though he has franchise high. Isaac Howard's going to slot up on the second line with Byfield and Veleno. We got Nazar alongside Roger McQueen and Nicholas Shin. Defensively, we haven't really added any more young defensemen. Maybe that's a point of emphasis. Spencer Knight is a 90, Carter Hart's an 88. That's a damn good goaltending tandem. What on earth happened to us this season? 4th in our division. We missed the postseason. 44, 30, and 8. Only 96 points. Ben Dover by far and away had his best season. 16 goals, 47 points, plus 10, 209 penalty minutes. Played all 82, but I mean, it doesn't even matter when we missed the playoffs. Edsy had 99 points. Shout out Wayne Gretzky. Pretty hard to make the postseason when Spencer Knight is playing 71 games. I mean, Carter Hart had a better save percentage. Why is Hart only starting 17 games in the season? Tommy Egg Matthews will only score 46 goals, but had the most points at 129. On the goal side, William Nylander will tuck it, 59 on the season. I guess Mikko Rantanen and the Dallas Stars are now a dynasty. They're just going off in this simulation. Their 3rd Stanley Cup of the video as they swept the New York Rangers. Matthews with the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. We got Nylander taking home the Maurice Richard. Quinn Hughes wins another Norris, the Conn Smythe to Robo. We got Anthony Stolarz back-to-back Vezinas. And Dylan Strome, another Selke. Ben Dover now has grown up to a 75 overall. Slowly but surely, he is coming into his own. I mean, the dude has franchise high potential. Why is he growing so incredibly slowly? We got Bedsy up at a 96, McQueen 86, Howard, Byfield, and Nicholas Shin. Then we got Veleno alongside Donato and Reichel. Defensively, Korchinski and Clark, they're going to play together. And in goal, we're still running back the same goaltending tandem in Spencer Knight and Carter Hart. Chicago will be back in the playoff mix. 46, 32, and 4 was our record, 96 points on the season and 4th in the Central. Finally, a breakout year for Ben, 28 goals, 99 points as he's all the way up at a 77 overall. Connor Bedard was solid. He had 65 goals and 104 points. Basically a two-man show here in Chicago. As Spencer Knight low-key is kind of struggling. 1 shutout, 905 save percentage. He had 31 wins. Jack Eichel had the most points at 128, and the most goals would be Connor Bedard at 65. Shout out Bedsy, and shout out to all the girls who absolutely drool over this man. We will have Mitch Marner and the Vegas Golden Knights in the 1st round of the postseason. Okay, I've done a complete 180 on my stance. I believe Ben's going to get to a 90 overall, and I believe we're going to win a Stanley Cup. Ben already at a 77 is putting up 99 points on the season. This man is ready to take over for the Chicago Blackhawks and help out Bedsy carry some of that weight on their backs as being the faces of this franchise. A 3-1 series lead in Vegas for Game 5, trying to close out the show, but we're down 5-3 entering the 3rd. I don't know how this game has gotten away from us. We got a 5-on-3. We have to capitalize on this. Come on, Chicago. Where is the offense? Bedsy, Ben. It is not going to matter as the Vegas Golden Knights have forced a Game 6. Game 6 back on home ice, trying to close out Vegas again, but they're going to live to fight another day, and we got to go on the road in a Game 7 and try to steal it in Vegas. I mean, essentially gambling our season, which does sound familiar for anybody that is on the Vegas Strip. We have a 3-1 lead after the 1st period thanks to Joe Veleno, Connor Murphy, and Lucas Reichel. 4-1 after 40, and we dominate Vegas and move on. Definitely going to be a tougher matchup against McDavid and Draisaitl, but we did end up sweeping them last time we played them in the postseason. Maybe deja vu. History does tend to repeat itself. We have a 3-1 series lead heading into Game 5 in Edmonton. Trying to close out the Oilers. Rasmussen gives us the lead after 1 second period, a 2-1 lead, and no, they're going to force overtime. Leon Draisaitl on Spencer Knight, and all of a sudden the Edmonton Oilers, they're back in this series, back in this hockey game. Please, Chicago, finish them off. Don't give them any momentum. Do not give them... No! Rick Lidstrom! Of all the garbage defensemen in the National Hockey League, why does it have to be Rick that ends up winning it in overtime? And how on earth did they even get Rick Lidstrom? He's gonna go like 2nd, 3rd overall. Dude, they have Rick, Bouchard, McDavid, Draisaitl. Zach Hyman's probably still there, but it doesn't even matter as the Blackhawks shut their ass out, and we're moving on to the conference finals. A familiar place for the Dallas Stars, which is the Western Conference Finals, but instead they're playing the Blackhawks, not the Edmonton Oilers. Trying to go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in the Ben Dover era, but that is going to have to wait for yet another game, as Johnston and Coyle in the 3rd period will win it for the Stars. Please, Chicago, we got to play our best hockey game of the goddamn series. What are we doing? We're getting shut out in Game 6 on home ice with a chance to go to the Cup Finals. I am really really worried for this Game 7. I do not believe in the Chicago Blackhawks. Although we got a 3-1 lead entering the third, we are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals. Thank you, Quinton Byfield. Thank you, Kevin Korchinski. 3-point night for Joe Veleno, as well as Ben Dover, who is racking up the assists. And it will be the Blackhawks versus the Rangers in the Stanley Cup Finals. We did not come this far just to end up losing to goddamn New York. We gotta lock in, go up 3-1 like we did in every other series, which we failed to do. Have ourselves a 2-2 split, go down 3-2, backs against the wall, on home ice. Not on home ice, actually. We're on the road. Oh no, Madison Square Garden is bumping. We got ourselves a tie game entering the third, all knotted up at 2 apiece. Ben Dover and Kevin Korchinski will score for the Blackhawks. Can we somehow find a way in overtime to claw our way back and force a Game 7? This is going to be a gut-wrenching overtime. Season on the line, trying to force a Game 7 in MSG while the Rangers could potentially win the Stanley Cup on home ice. Here we go. Roger McQueen the other way. Hands it off to Ben, who rips the shot on Igor, and he's going to make the save and cover it up. Also, why is Ben wearing the number 71? The absolute sacrilege that Ben Dover does not have his patented 69. All right, come on. We got Connor Bedard on the draw with McQueen and Dover. He ends up losing it, though. Bedard loses a lot of draws in the National Hockey League. Ben, you're too slow, man. Here come the New York Rangers the other way. Fox gets absolutely toppled over, and here comes Ben Dover the other way. Ben Dover, red rope. What on earth kind of sauce was that, Ben? You got to wake up. I need a better effort out of you right now. Fox the other way. Gets tousled again. Never mind. He gets free. He absorbed that body check. Adam Fox trying to take a shot. Doesn't get on net. Kevin Korchinski moves it up to a lightning Roger McQueen. McQueen can't even get into the zone. This is probably the most anticlimactic overtime in NHL history. Will Cooley coming the other way. Gets bodied. There we go. Nicholas Shin. The other way. Counterattack by the Blackhawks. Everybody just turning the puck over. Byfield, what are you doing? Over. Nicholas Shin. No! How can he not bury it? Again, behind the net. Walking out on the backhand. Rebound. It's there. Send it again. Igor Shesterkin. No way! It somehow went in, and we have forced a Game 7. Well, I guess it all comes down to this. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I still cannot believe that goal even beat Igor Shesterkin. 5-0. Oh no, we're down 2-0 after the first period. Lafreniere and Luke Kuhn in second period. 4-0 deficit. That is pretty much all she wrote on the Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup hopes. Ben Dover Red Rover is nowhere to be found because he got sent down to the AHL yet again, despite the fact he had 99 points in the regular season. Bedard was solid in the playoffs. He had 9 goals, 24 points. McQueen had 21. Nicholas Shin had 20. Spencer Knight rocked a .920 save percentage, so we had everything in the makings to be a Stanley Cup champion, but just could not get it done. Jack Eichel is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. We got Connor Bedard winning the Maurice Richard, Cale Makar the Norris. Eichel is going to take home the Lindsay, the Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Connor Bedard, the Maurice Richard. Makar is going to win the Norris. We got JT Miller winning the Conn Smythe, Igor the Vezina, and the Selke to Macklin Celebrini. Ben Dover was our best player in the postseason. 12 goals, 19 assists for 31 points in only 27 games. Also 106 penalty minutes. I can't complain about Ben Dover, man. He was our best player come playoff time. 12 goals, 19 assists, 31 points in only 27 games. Ben is the highest he has ever been, and no, I'm not talking about the Mary Jane, as he is an 84 overall. Connor Bedard's a 96. We got Roger McQueen still on that top line. Howard, Byfield, and Marchenko. Reichel alongside Veleno and Nicolashin. Defensively, our decor looks a lot better. We got Korchinski, Clark, and Lev Shunov, and then between the pipes, it is still Spencer Knight at a 90 and Carter Hart at an 85. Ben is as high as he's ever been so far in the video, and I'm not talking about the Mary Jane. He's an 84 overall on that top line with Bedard and Roger McQueen. Howard, Byfield, and Marchenko on the second line. We got Reichel alongside Veleno and Nicolashin. Korchinski, Clark, and Lev Shunov. Our decor has gotten a little bit better, and then we're still running out Spencer Knight at a 90, and then Carter Hart's our backup at an 85. Top of the division for the very first time in the video. 52, 21, and 9, 113 points. I guess you could say the Chicago Blackhawks are indeed back. Low-key, a very disappointing year for Ben. 32 goals, 68 points. Wasn't even close to leading our team. That would be Bedard with 50 and 50. Even McQueen, Byfield, Marchenko, and Isaac Howard all outscored Ben Dover. Spencer Knight went 42, 18, and 6. 3 shutouts with a 909. Nylander is going to have the most points at 141, and the most goals will go to Matthews, who had 63. McKinnon, Makar, Bedard, Ben Dover, round number 1. Sounds like a very electric first round matchup here in the NHL.
Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts.
Minnesota should be a tough outing here in round number 2. I mean, they got Kirill, who's probably like a 95, 97 overall at this point. Matt Boldy's probably good. Brock Faber on the back end has probably reached his potential. We got ourselves a 2-2 series tie after the first 4 games. Facing elimination on the road in Game 6 in Minnesota. Can we bring them back to the United Center for a Game 7? Down 2-1 in the late stages of this third period. Come on, Chicago. Bend over. Yes! Isaac Howard is going to tie the game up with 7 minutes to go into the third. And all of a sudden, it is overtime here in Minnesota for game number 6. Trying to bring it back to 7. Go back to the United Center on home ice. Win a Game 7. Come on, Clark moves up to bend over. Here we go. The boys are starting to move. Ben gets into the zone. I don't know what he was thinking or what he was doing there, but oh, Kirill Kaprizov over. Marco Rossi. Nice block shot. Back to Faber. Rings it off the bar. Nice save. Spencer Knight has to be kissing his crossbar, man. Bedard, just take an odd shot, dude. That's what you got to do. Get the puck on net. Get pucks deep, and do not let the Minnesota Wild take any shots whatsoever. Here comes Bedsy the other way. A 2-on-1 brewing. Bedard hands it off. McQueen, and Jesper Wallstad's going to make the save. We were in a pretty similar situation last year, and ultimately we ended up losing. 15:40 left to go. Back to the blue line. Clark finding Kevin Korchinski, and a nice save by Wallstad. I just want to bring it back to the United Center for a Game 7. Marchenko trying to take a shot from the Rockstar zone is not even going to get on net. And here come the Minnesota Wild. They're going to dump it in deep, go for a line change. We had full pressure in their zone, but it really did not matter. Rand Clark goes cross ice to Marchenko. Marchenko into the zone, losing the puck as all the computers seem to do. Here comes Eriksson Ek the other way. A counterattack from Minnesota. He turns it over as it is becoming a turnover fest here in Minnesota. Marchenko! No way! Wallstad again. I need the top line out there on the ice. I need Bedard or bend over. I need one of the two to score a goal right now. No, are we serious? We're just going to get it taken out of our own zone. Over. Minnesota in. Shot saved by Spencer Knight. We are bobbling the puck right now. Come on, Brandt Clark. He's going to dump it in. All right. 49 shots. Turnover. McQueen in the middle. And how did Jesper Wallstad make that save? There is no way I'm calling cap on that. Nice turnover. Bedard over to Ben. Ben feeds it to the middle to McQueen. He can't get a shot on net, but he still has it. Roger McQueen. Okay, he draws a power play. All right, let's take a breath here. 7:58 left to go in overtime. We have the man advantage. Joe Veleno taking the draw. He's going to win it. Back to the blue line. Lev Shunov. Over. Shot. Nice save there by Wallstad again. The only reason. What was that, Veleno? A goddamn Pete's up the middle. That's what that was. In the offensive zone. 1:30 to go. Byfield. Back to Bedard. And Wallstad is going to easily glove that one down. At this point, I don't even know what is it going to take to beat Jesper Wallstad. But that man is standing on his head. 1:32 left to go. Byfield, I need you to win this draw. Byfield loses it. No, we got it back. Korchinski over to Clark, finding Bedard. Korchinski in the middle. Does anybody want to shoot the puck, or are we just going to pass it around like the Harlem Globetrotters? Roger McQueen going to... He literally just let himself get board played. I don't believe it. What is going on? Marco Rossi, the other way from Minnesota. Rossi in, shot, saved by Knight. I'm trying to see an overtime winner, and right now that is not happening. Veleno, right out. Oh, are you kidding me? Joe Veleno straight up won the draw to the Minnesota Wild player. Brandt Clark the other way. Here we go. Isaac Howard, the Iceman. Use your speed to the outside. I honestly think I'm going to have a mental breakdown watching the CPU go back and forth, just repeatedly turning the puck over. Like, they're still killing the penalty, and yet it seems like we can't do anything offensively. Lev Shunov over to Marchenko. Kirill Marchenko enters the zone, fires a shot on net. Get in there, Iceman. I need Isaac Howard. Where is our forecheck? Our forecheck is nowhere to be found. Even though we're on the power play, we have a man advantage in the middle. Nice save there by Spencer Knight. Marchenko on the counterattack. Cross ice to fucking nobody. Dart steals it, though. Bedsy. Why? Why is Bedard toe dragging, releasing, and then Jesper Wallstad? Are you kidding me? Is this what I signed up for? 6 minutes to go in overtime before I hop the hell out of here and save everybody a whole lot of waiting and misery watching these computers just turn the puck over. I'm waiting for an overtime winner, but I'm not getting one right now. We dump it in deep. That's a smart move. 5:10 to go here in overtime. Byfield bodies him. Byfield again wins it in the middle. Bedard cannot tuck it. Andrew Koch the other way from Minnesota. Koch, he's into the zone. Getting by our defenseman. He has no energy, but that does not matter for the computers as they're going to keep on pushing. Do we win that? Okay, it's out of the zone. As long as we get it out. Byfield, can he get a chance? 2-on-1 brewing. Bedsy coming in. Bedard takes a shot. I don't understand what is it going to take to beat Wallstad. I really don't. A 50 save performance for Jesper Wallstad here in overtime. And I mean the entire game 6 as we try to bring it back to 7. But at this point, I don't know if anybody's going to score at this rate. Matthew Boldy goes behind the net. Kaprizov Centers it to Brock Faber. Back to the blue line. D to D. Brodin finding Faber. Over Kirill. Nice save there. Spencer Knight keeping us in this hockey game. Jonas Brodin to Faber. Turns it over. Go, Lightning. Come on, McQueen. McQueen was fading, and he was fading fast there, dude. That dude had no energy. Bend over. Centers it. Up to Rasmussen. Can't get by his defenseman. Jonas Brodin. A nice turnover. Here come the Wild the other way. Kaprizov. He's mowing over. Is that Jeff Skinner that we are playing in the postseason right now? There's no way. In the Big 2030, Jeff Skinner is getting playoff hockey minutes. Matt Boldy hitting board play to the bench. Brandt Clarke steals it. Clarke. Why is Brandt Clarke trying to deke into the middle? You ever heard about going wide? And of course, as soon as I hop out, we end up losing. So I don't get to see us even lose in the real-time game. I just have to sit through the misery that is the computer AI. For the first time after getting eliminated, Ben does not have to hop on the bus and go down to the American Hockey League. 3 goals, 7 apples for 10 points in 10 games. He was only point per game. McQueen was a little bit better, and Bedard led our team in goal scoring with 6, and he also had 14 points in 10 games. Spencer Knight was solid, 6-2-2 with a 9-17, as Toronto is going to sweep Minnesota in the Stanley Cup Finals. Nylander, Matthews, Nylander, and Nylander will take home basically all the individual hardware. We got Quinn Hughes taking home the Norris, Matthews the Conn Smythe, Stolarz the Vezina, and the Selke to Kent Johnson. Ben is still yet to reach his full potential. He's an 85 overall at 24 years of age. I mean, we're closing in on his prime, and he's not even going to crack a 90. So it is Operation Play the Shit out of Ben Dover so he can get the highest overall possible. He's going to play on all 4 forward lines. He's an 85 overall, and now maybe this is what will put him over the top and bring him to that superstar status. Being the number 71 just does not fit Ben whatsoever. I'm gonna have to go ahead, give him the number 69 and the fresh C on the front of his sweater. The captain of the Blackhawks lead us to the promised land. If you guys have made it this far in the video, give your boy a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more NHL 25 content. 26 very shortly, as I mean, we are at the end of the life cycle of NHL 25. This Central Division is low-key kind of tough. We were the 3rd best team in the NHL, and we had 120 points on the season. 57 wins. Minnesota and Dallas, the best 2 teams in the entire NHL. The entire top 3, the top 4 comes from the Central Division, as we are by far and away the best in all of hockey. Bend over, Red Rover. Allow him to take over. 78 goals, 162 points. Now that reminds me a lot of Bend Over. He's only an 87 overall, but he plays the entire game, so he's going to put up literally video game numbers. We got Connor Bedard putting up 45 and 92. Quinton Byfield only 68. So it was kind of a 2-man show between Bedsy and Ben, at least offensively. Spencer Knight, 46 wins, 4 shutouts, and a 909 save percentage. Also, yes, we got rid of our controversial backup goaltender. Yes, we did get rid of our controversial backup goaltender. For the first time in the video, Ben will have the most goals at 78 and the most points at 162. This could be our best shot at a Stanley Cup. The bad news is we got to play the damn near 60-win Minnesota Wild in the very first round. We are kind of struggling. We're down 3-2 to Minnesota. They have been a very tough matchup, and I mean, they won more games than we did in the regular season. They had home ice advantage. We are at home right now in Game 6, only down by 1. Power play for Mini. They don't get anything on it. Shots are 22-15. The Blackhawks season on the line yet again. Can Ben come through in the biggest moment possible? Late stages of the 3rd period, a minute and 50 remain. There is Ben taking the draw. Against Marco Rossi, the size difference is immaculate. Nikolashin comes into the zone, winds one up. Oh my god, get in, please! Listen, we are only down by 1. I don't give a bollocks about the points right now, EA. It is completely lock-in time for the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard moves it back over to Girard. Girard finding Isaac Howard in the middle. Clarke takes a shot, and again, it is Jesper Wallstedt and that godforsaken glove. 51 seconds to go. We have full pressure. We are in the offensive zone. Bedard, can you win a goddamn draw? Ben, pick up the puck, buddy. Over. Howard, no! Rebound! How did he not bury that? I thought for sure Isaac Howard was going to bury that. Howard again. Centers it. Out in front. Bedsy. Turn it over. Isaac Howard over to Girard. Here we go. One final rush. We are pulling the netminder. Bend over. He's coming into the zone. Ben trying to get by his defenseman. He can't do it. I don't know how. Ben is so goddamn slow. He's like an 18-wheeler out there. Ross Colton with the steal. An empty net, and he is going to absolutely bury it. Oh, I really did think this year was our year. I'm literally turning into a Leaf fan right now. This is crazy. Ben Dover led the way for scoring. He only had 1 goal, 5 apples for 6 points in 6 games. Was a 7, which is kind of rough, but you got to remember, the man's playing the entire hockey game. Sir Connor McDavid finally adds a Stanley Cup to his resume. Bend over, Red Rover. He has finally taken over. Cale Makar is going to win the Norris Trophy. McDavid the Conn Smythe. Ottinger the Vezina. Operation Bend Over is still in full effect as he has reached his highest potential so far at an 89. The bad news is we did ultimately lose Quinton Byfield in free agency last year. Offensively, we got Gerard, Clark, Lev Shunoff, and Korchinski. That is a damn good top 4, and then still Spencer Knight between the pipes at an 89. The Central does not seem to be getting any easier. We went 54, 24, and 4, 112 points, and yet again finishing 3rd in the Central. Colorado 56 wins, and Minnesota had 55, 116 points. I don't know what is it going to take to win a Stanley Cup, but it is going to be a nightmare coming out of this division. Backshot Ben would end up scoring 113 goals, 207 points on the year, 360 penalty minutes alongside of that. 360 penalty minutes alongside that. Connor Bedard had 117, Isaac Howard 99, McQueen was very good with 35 goals. Ben's finally finding his footing, and then Spencer Knight, I mean, honestly, at 30 years old, it seems like he's kind of regressed, if anything. Bend over, Red Rover. He has completely taken over the National Hockey League, as we are going to play Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, and the Colorado Avalanche in round number 1. We are literally in the same position pretty much every year. Game 6 with their season on the line, whether it be at home or on the road, it doesn't really matter. We tend to fold in this position. We got ourselves a 1-1 tie entering the 3rd period against the Avs. 16 minutes to go. Yes, Jesperi Kotkaniemi will give the Avalanche the lead here in the 3rd period. I need Bend Over to step up. He's playing the entire game. There is no excuses. Late stages of the 3rd, and yet again a very embarrassing playoff exit. Bend would end up having 6 goals, 10 points, and he was a -4 in the 1st round against Colorado. And I'll be honest, he did not really have a lot of help alongside of him. The Oilers are going to go on, win the Stanley Cup again as they sweep the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hughes is going to take home the Norris. We got Rick Lidstrom being the Conn Smythe winner. Carter Hart the Vezina on the Vancouver Canucks. This man was the backup behind Spencer Knight, and he goes on to win a Vezina somewhere else. And for the Selke Trophy, it is going to end up going to Ben also. This will be the final season in Bend Over's career. He has reached his prime, 26 years of age. He'll be 27 on his birthday. Unfortunately, he's only going to probably cap off at like an 89, 90 overall. 1 year left on his league minimum contract. I'm praying that this can be the season that we finally get it done and go all the way. Ben doing the same thing that he's done the past like 3 years. Play every single forward line, play the entire game, and play your team to a Stanley Cup final. Holy hell, we might actually be onto something here. 26-5-1 to start the season. This team is an absolute wagon. 57-2. The greatest single season in Chicago Blackhawks franchise history. 69-9-4. 142 points. There is quite literally no excuses to not win the Stanley Cup this season. Ben would rack up 117 goals, 256 points. We got Roger McQueen, who had a career high 115, and Connor Bedard, I mean, 52 goals is nothing to slouch at. 105 points. Marchenko had 93, Isaac Howard had 82, and we have Joakim Wirtanen, the guy that we drafted all those years ago in 2025 in the 2nd round, ultimately gave us the greatest goaltending performance that we ever had. 52, 8-3, 5 shutouts with a 9-13, as it will be the Winnipeg Jets in the very 1st round of the postseason. A solid 6-game series against Winnipeg in the 1st round. A solid 6-game series as we take out the Jets. Next up is a very good hockey team in the Minnesota Wild. They've been at the top of the NHL for the last couple seasons now. Game 6 on the road, facing elimination. A very familiar spot that we've been in basically the entirety of this video. Can we force 7? Can we bring it home? 2-1 lead entering the 3rd thanks to Bedard and Ben. I need now my goalie, who I've completely forgotten the name of. Never mind. Piefko. M. Fleury is going to get one on Wirtanen. Right, it's Wirtanen. My bad. Joakim Wirtanen. Shut the door. There we go. Ben and Brant Clark will seal the deal. We have ourselves a game 6. Could be the final game in the entire video. 1st period, 1-0 lead for Mini. 2nd period, we will tie it up thanks to Ben on the power play. Matt Boldy, though, on Wirtanen. Bend Over again, willing his team back into this game, carrying this squad. And we are halfway through this 3rd period of Game 7. Can we move on to the Western Conference Finals? 5 minutes to go. Somebody please step up. All right, let's get my heart rate pumping and see if Chicago has any grit whatsoever, as we are in overtime with the entire video on the line. and we have yet to win a single overtime. Benzie again! No, it's Jesper Wallstedt. I completely forgot. We got to play that madman yet again. He has been the literal villain of this entire video so far, and we've yet to beat him in overtime. I've yet to see anybody score on this man. Back to the point. Girard takes a shot, and there it is! Finally, we beat him. We put him down, and the Chicago Blackhawks will move on. Colorado in the conference finals does not sound bad whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe I spoke way too soon. Down 3-1, I'm really not expecting us to win. Maybe this game we do 8-3, but I'll be honest, it's going to be tough to claw back down 3-1 against Colorado. Ben had a nice 2-goal, 4-point performance. We are going to bring it back to Chicago for a Game 7 after a 6-3 victory. This is it. Game 7, Western Conference Finals. Oh my, 6-2 Chicago after the first period. That is all she wrote, as we have a shot in our final season to win the Stanley Cup. I don't believe it. Up 3-2, heading into Montreal for Game 6 with a Stanley Cup in the building. 4-2 after 1. We got it. Oh my god, we're down by 1 now. We had an absolutely horrific second period. We tied up though. Connor Bedard on the power play on Ivan Kovic, and then Vlasic will take the lead for the Blackhawks 7-6. An absolute gong show. No, P. Shoresy's gonna tie the game up. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Pifko on Ivan Kovic, late stages of the third period. Nerve-wracking does not even begin to describe it. 1:24 away from potentially winning the Stanley Cup in Bendover's final season, from trash to being the GOAT in Montreal. Oh no, Lane Hudson and P. Shoresy going the other way. 50 seconds to go. Hudson, cross ice. Thompson, nice save. Thank you very much. Oh no, P. Shoresy walking down Main Street. No, he's gonna put it in. Are you kidding me? P. Shoresy gets a hat trick. This game just could not let me have anything nice, huh? I don't believe it. With 40 seconds to go, P. Shoresy's gonna tie the game up, and all of a sudden our Stanley Cup is indeed in jeopardy. Isaac Howard on the backhand. That's gonna be an easy save. So close yet so far. 36 seconds to go here in regulation. Back to the point. Lev Shunov. Nice block there by Montreal. We pick it up. Kirill Marchenko finding in the slot. Korchinski wires it up. And then Ben, out of nowhere, his 25th of the playoff run will give us the lead late in the third period. Unbelievable scenes here in Le Montreal. Back up by one of the Blackhawks. Less than 30 seconds to go. Come on, just kill the clock, Chicago, please. Noah Dobson trying to break out of his corner. Uri Slavkovsky. Not a lot of time left for Le Montreal to cook. Here comes Yannick. Entering the zone, Yannick. Cross ice wall. Doesn't get a shot on net. Empty net for the Canadians. There it is, Slavkovsky. Behind the net. He passes it off to himself. Cover that up. Cover it up. Korchinski, get it out. No, please. 5 seconds to go. It doesn't even matter. The Chicago Blackhawks in Bendover's final season will get it done. They're going to go all the way. They're going to win the Stanley Cup. Benzie finally gets his first cup of his career, and Bendover, all the way from a 36 overall to a 90, is going to lead the Chicago Blackhawks to the promised land, back on top of the hockey world for the first time since 2015. The Chicago Blackhawks are Stanley Cup champions. And of course, he is also going to take home the Conn Smythe Trophy, 25 goals and 67 points in the postseason. Finally, Ben gets it done, and he takes over the National Hockey League with a Stanley Cup and the most dominating playoff run of all time. Bendover is finally the greatest player of all time, as he takes home all the major individual hardware, including the Conn Smythe and a Stanley Cup. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.